museum, because people come in with all different levels of vision, is actually have a tour in the galleries with the art objects that have touch evidence to enhance the tour. Now, the touch tours that we conduct aren't necessarily touching the real objects, because many of our artworks are on loan or else they're very fragile. So the way that we've kind of circumvented that at the Whitney is we create touch objects that are as close as possible to the actual objects. We hire artists and local artisans, woodworkers, depending on the exhibition, to actually craft high-quality objects that are as close to identical as the real object, that we can manhandle them all we want, and we don't have to worry about it. The first one we're going to be discussing is Calder's Circus. It's a series of small sculptures. Each one is about maybe 3 or 4 inches high, and they're all made from scraps, bits and pieces of anything he could find. Forks, wire, buttons, wood, broomsticks, all of the things you can imagine he might have in his attic or basement. Now the great thing about these objects, and you'll see as we pass them around, is each one is articulated with motion. So he actually would perform this circus. This was one of the earliest pieces of performance art. DeFeo was an artist who, it was really important to her for her work to be textural, tactile. She was a painter, but her paintings are not like any paintings that any of us had ever seen. The first one that we're going to talk about was kind of her monumental masterpiece, and it's called The Rose. The painting itself is about 9 feet high and about 6 feet wide. But the most shocking dimension of this painting is its thickness. The canvas, it's oil on canvas, but the canvas that it's on is about 4 inches thick, and the paint protrudes about another 3 or 4 inches off of that. This work is actually called Incision. This is actually maybe 10 feet high and about 4 feet across. At the top of the canvas, it's very dark, very black, and the texture is slightly bumpy. It's again like the surface, the upper surface of the rose, those little bits and pieces of bumps. Then this incision is about 3 inches deep that goes from the upper right corner to the lower left. And below that, there's a splash of white paint that almost looks like somebody took a bucket of white paint and threw it across the canvas. And that part, as oil paint is very smooth. So we have this contrast in textures between the very, very bumpy dark part and the smoother, less bumpy white part.